Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa with the Dynamic Self Astrology, and I'm here to bring you the astrology forecast for July 2024. So, the tone of July is strongly influenced by Neptune stationing retrograde on July 2nd and Chiron stationing retrograde at the end of the month at July 26th. As July begins, we will all be in the middle of Neptune's trance. We could be feeling unusually sleepy and unsure about the future ahead of us. This is a great time to see live art or any kind of art, make art, Netflix binge, read a book, daydream, swim in a pool or a lake or an ocean. Engage in spiritual experiences. Just unplug from your to-do list in whatever way that you can. Many of us will be busy with the activities that were put into motion previously. And if that is you, be sure to insert downtime where you can to let your body and mind enjoy the subtleties of the moment. Chiron stationing retrograde at the end of the month will set the tone for the last week of July with insight around how we are isolated in our life, as well as the wounds that we carry within us and how that has impacted our lives in profound ways. We all have pain that we carry with us. And this pain can feel like an immense burden at times. How can we allow ourselves to receive new insight around the burdens that we carry? How can we transform our wounds that isolate us into healing gifts that we bring us together? Let's step more deeply into this month, beginning with Neptune stationing retrograde. Neptune stations retrograde on July 2nd at 4:40 a.m. Mountain Time. One of the highlights of this station is that it takes place at 29 degrees Pisces in 56 minutes. Any planet at 29 degrees is at the anaretic degree, which means it has a chaotic or unstable nature to it. As I mentioned previously, whenever an outer planet in particular stations either retrograde or direct, there's an intense potency to the planet. We could feel like we're swimming in the nature of Neptune at this time, as though it's infiltrating our lives at a cellular level. In addition, Neptune is stationing within less than a degree of the world axis, which is 0 degrees Aries in particular. What this means is that the intoxicating and overwhelming Neptune influence is being broadcast over the loudspeakers. We cannot hide from Neptune the first week or so of July. We are being inundated by a need to recline, take rest, commune with the spiritual realm, sink into compassion, and or become overtaken by something that's out of this world. Because of the fast-paced nature of our lives, we could feel especially tired and frustrated because we can't seem to get everything aligned the way that we need to, and we simply don't have the energy to complete all that we have to do in our lives. If you are feeling the Neptunian overwhelm, then you could find yourself turning into a puddle of a whiny mess. If you catch yourself moving in that direction, gently course correct as best as you can. Globally, we could be drowning in a sea of misinformation and feeling lost as far as directive goes. We could be hearing unreliable narratives from our leaders and or getting the sense that the pieces don't fit together in the way that they should. In addition, we could find ourselves starstruck by those in charge. Neptune can lead masses of people to surrender to someone or something without mental exercise or jurisdiction. This surrender can come from the wave-like feeling that pulls people in a certain direction, and the term drinking from the Kool-Aid comes to mind. In addition, we could see notable events and or news around the oceans or waters. This can be highlighted by Saturn's recent station as Pisces as well. And the oceans are in a turbulent and dire state in many ways. We could be hearing more and more about this around this time. On a higher level, this is a perfect time for great movies that submerge us in another realm that could be via romance, a fairy tale, or even a nightmare. One such film that is being released on the big screen on July 5th, which is right around this time, and also on the Cancer new moon, is called The Secret Art of Human Flight. I just watched the trailer of it. It's very, very Neptunian. I suspect that people will be participating in all kinds of ways to unplug and disconnect. So find healthy ways to do that for yourself that aren't self-deprecating or harming yourself in any ways. So find good ways to heal yourself through the art of disconnecting and just being submerged in something otherworldly. If you have any planets at the late degrees, meaning like 26 to 29 degrees, specifically of mutable signs, which are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, you will absolutely be impacted by the Neptune stationing. Take a look at your chart and see if this applies to you. The next little bit that I wanted to take a look at is a series of aspects taking place throughout the month, both are that we have all Mercury, Venus, and the Sun coming into a trine to Neptune and then an opposition to Pluto. So this is a consistent theme within the month. First, we'll look at this opposition to Pluto. We see Mercury oppose Pluto on July 3rd, Venus on July 12th, and the Sun on July 22nd. These alignments will take place between 1 degree to 0 degrees of Aquarius and Leo. If you have any planets in the early degrees of fixed signs in particular, this is speaking to you. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius. These oppositions will bring up big challenges and profound tensions that include power struggles and obsessive interactions. We can find ourselves in abnormally intense circumstances with others. We could feel as though we cannot overcome whatever obstacles are in front of us. There could be a need to release or surrender part of our lives and or ourselves in order to move forward. Tricky energy coming up there. But what's preceding that, I think it's really important, especially since we have so much Neptune in the air, especially at the beginning of the month, is that part of the story could constellate around our ideals and dreams that we are also very embedded in, which is the Neptune. This is illustrated by these same planets perfecting a trine to Neptune right before their opposition to Pluto. Mercury will trine Neptune on July 2nd, Venus on July 11th, and the Sun on July 21st. This series of aspects coming into a trine to Neptune and then opposition to Pluto suggests that we have idealized visions for our lives and the world that we live within. We already discussed how strong and alluring Neptune is at this time, and Pluto is illustrating the underbelly of being pulled hook, line, and sinker into a vision. Power and an insistence for transformation also lies within the dynamic that we are experiencing throughout the month. We must be willing to give something important up in order to fully immerse ourselves within the dream. So next up is the Cancer new moon, which takes place on July 5th at 4:57 p.m. Mountain Time. The new moon is situated at 14 degrees Cancer, 23 minutes. All in all, this is a lovely lunation in the watery and nurturing sign of Cancer. Most notably, the new moon is sharing supportive influences, both by Saturn by trine and Mars by sextile. This suggests that there's both the drive and the foundation needed to complete whatever you're putting your efforts towards at this time. Within the fertile seed that is planted during this new moon, there's a focus on material accomplishments and follow-through. As many of you know, my friend Sarah and I have started the Broadcast Astrology podcast, and we focus on new moon or lunation charts. So we will be covering this new moon. It will be released on July 5th. So you can follow us on Spotify or YouTube. Next up is Mars-Uranus. On July 15th, there's a very activated transit happening at 26 degrees Taurus, 26 minutes. It's a Mars conjunction to Uranus. This is an exciting and possibly explosive combination of planetary energetics. We could see this transit happening several days and maybe even a week before it perfects. This combination doesn't have much patience and has a combustive drive to make an impact. In our personal lives, we can expect to experience a burst of movement, unexpected events unfolding in a quick and rapid pace. This could either be a productive change in direction, an opening where there previously was none, a catapult into the next phase of whatever is developing for you. Or this could be incredibly disruptive. A part of your life could disintegrate in a poof right before your eyes. This could be something as silly as spilling your dinner all over the floor, or it could be that a project that you're working on is completely derailed. More specifically, move slowly and mindfully at this time. We are prone to accidents of all kinds under this astrological weather. With so much electrical stimulation, we can easily become ungrounded and not present within the obstacles in our way and the dangers around us. Use your breath to keep you in the moment and be careful how you're moving through the world. Next, we move to the Capricorn full moon. This year, there are 2 Capricorn full moons, which is very exciting. If you remember back to last month, in the early degrees of the Capricorn full moon, it was closely square to opponent Neptune. This full moon on July 21st is at 4:17 a.m. Mountain Time, and it's situated at 29 degrees Capricorn, 9 minutes. Hence, you are seeing the 29 degrees show up again. The Neptune showed up before was at 29 degrees. So, although Pluto has not yet retrograded back into Capricorn for its final hurrah in that sign, it's at 0 degrees Aquarius, 55 minutes. It's less than 1 degrees from the full moon. So the theme that we're really seeing between these 2 full moons in Capricorn is their interest with endings, and more specifically, the chaos and surrender involved in endings. What is coming to an end for you? Are you shedding past tough thought patterns? Are you releasing habits of self-sabotage? Are you eliminating toxic relationships from your life? Are you setting better boundaries between yourself and others? Are you saying no to foods and other substances that are not good for you? The possibilities are vast and wide. Acknowledge the challenges embedded in change, big and small, and be kind to yourself as you move through these changes, showing your inner self support and love. In addition, both Uranus and Neptune are corresponding with the full moon. The threshold experience that we find ourselves standing upon is supported by compassion and insight as we look forward towards the future that lies ahead of us. In addition, Mars is favorably placed by trine to the moon and Pluto, suggesting that we have actionable plans available to us at this time. We have a supportive fire beneath us to push our feet onto this new path that we are forging ahead onto. Yes, the world that we knew continues to dematerialize, but there is a promise for something better. All we have to do is dream it into action. And finally, for this forecast, we're looking at the Chiron Stationing Retrograde, which we touched upon earlier in the opening. And this month ends with the Chiron Stationing Retrograde on July 26th at 7:58 a.m. Mountain Time. It takes place at 23 degrees Aries and 32 minutes. So again, take a look at your chart. Chiron can be a challenging planet to step into the spotlight. Known most commonly as the wounded healer, Chiron represents where we have been forced into isolation, the pain that we carry that is so deeply ingrained that we cannot reach it to treat it. When we are in therapy and we're undergoing a healing journey, Chiron is often front and center as part of that experience. The positive part of Chiron is that once we begin working with the pain that we carry in a more proactive way, we are able to help others. We become a healer ourselves. Many people who are healers of all kinds, all levels, doesn't matter, have a strong Chiron in their chart. If you talk with healers, many of them will have arrived at their work by humbling means, usually rooted in their experiences of isolation and wounding. And that's how they know how to help other people. Despite all of the action and activation that has taken place, we are swimming in a pool of our deepest sensitivities. We could feel like we have no skin for most of this month, yet we still walk around as though we're okay. At the end of this month urges us to soften our gaze upon one another, as well as ourselves, and see what is beneath the strong facades that we feel that we must wear day to day. No matter what information our facades are communicating, each and every one of us is carrying a heaviness within ourselves that is weighing us down and bringing us to our knees more often than we would like anyone to know. If we are feeling activated by another person, this weighted pain within them can often be a source of the discomfort that we are picking up from, and also a misunderstanding. The combination of Neptune and Chiron are asking us to have compassion for the pain that each one of us carries. No one gets out of this life unscathed. The end of the month is great if you are on the healing path, potentially opening up parts of our wounding that was unavailable to us previously, and also introducing us to new tools that we can use as healers. So in closing, there's a lot of supportive and fun energy this month, some of which I did not cover specifically here. There was a lot going on this month, and I couldn't get into every little nook and cranny, but take a look at my transit list to get a deeper idea of what that looks like. But the new and full moons are overall quite nice. There's a lot of support and allow the dreamy flow that's available for you this month. There's a lot of releasing that is needed, but just trust that you have what you need to step towards the dreams that you're carrying with you. Be aware of intense interactions with others throughout the month and a pressure to succeed and maybe even obsessive tendencies. Oftentimes, these circumstances arise because we're not standing in our own power appropriately. Stand within your own knowing and truth, and you will come out on the other side with more insight than you began with. I hope that you enjoy your July and that you're able to take advantage of the fun and creativity and the love and the healing. Until next time, my friends, happy July.